everyone, welcome to the American Sports Connection. I am your host, the one and only Joey Railroads. I'm here with my buddy Rygal, and we're going to sit here and talk about Monday Night Raw from last night. How you doing, man?
What's going on, buddy? How are you?
Can't complain. So, what did you think of Raw last night?
Raw was not good.
What did it take them, 3 weeks, 4 weeks after Mania to finally go back to the same old?
Yeah, for the most part. I don't know what they're doing. At all. I don't know what they're doing.
I talked about this with Lance yesterday when we went over Payback. They had so many different ways they could have did things. They could have had Anderson and Gallows and maybe AJ all joined together with Balor maybe, or them go with Reigns and turn him heel, and it's just they went the complete easy, non-exciting way.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. They took a cop-out with Stephanie and Shane by going, having them split the Raw. Sorry. I don't know. I just don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, it's strange unless they're putting it on the slow burn because they have back-to-back pay-per-views in the same month. I don't know.
They had so many opportunities to do things. They could have turned Roman heel. They could have announced a brand split. There's just a lot of opportunities that I don't know what they're waiting for. Nothing changed. Nothing really went forward. They put Reigns over clean, which makes no sense.
Yeah, it's basically I stayed up for this.
Yeah, bro, I was pissed off. Went to work tired for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, if it was entertaining, I wouldn't have given a shit.
Yeah, but
anyway, we had Stephanie and Shane open the show. Steph came out and gave Shane this framed photo and all this kind of nonsense. And eventually, Kevin Owens comes out, says he wants his IC title rematch. Since Shane didn't want to give it to him, he was trying to beg to Stephanie to get it, and eventually Cesaro comes out, makes fun of him, and those types of things, and leads to a match. I really did not like their match they had.
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing with Cesaro either.
Yeah, because I'm you brought him back with this big, to-do, you changed how he came out, and he cut a pretty good promo last week, and then you job him out to The Miz.
Yeah, WWE has no idea what they're doing, and I know I sound like a broken record, but I legitimately feel that NXT's doing all the right things, and in WWE it's they're going in circles.
Yeah.
Now they're trying to Ryback. Not Ryback. Rusev again. We'll get to that, but it's what are you doing, man?
Yeah, it's they're trying to fit a different square peg in a round hole.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I could say that. I can agree.
Yeah, okay. Cesaro won this match by DQ because The Miz came in and interfered, and they eventually try to beat up on Cesaro. Sami Zayn comes out, clears the ring. It almost makes me feel like they're going to have a fatal four-way at the pay-per-view for the Intercontinental title.
I missed that. You kind of faded out for 1 second.
Oh, sorry. I said the way they were booking it, when Zayn came out and cleared the ring, it's they were going to have a four-way for the IC title at Extreme Rules.
It's possible, and like that wouldn't be a bad idea. I think a 4-way with those guys would be a pretty good idea. I mean, you have Cesaro, Zayn, and Owens in one match.
Yeah, it'd be great because I don't know. It's not that I dislike the match that Owens and Zayn had because I loved it at Payback, but it's just to throw them back in like not even a month later after Owens already beat him clean. It's like, where do you really go from there?
Yeah, I'm just at a loss. I expected you to be sitting here in a much different mood talking about wrestling.
Yeah, I know what you mean. They just let you down again.
So much so. So much so.
After this, we had the backstage segment with Ambrose and Steph, where he was basically talking about getting ready to have her on his show, which was kind of weird.
You want to know what a loser I am? I just ordered all 3 Baby Metal Funko Pop. Now you have my full attention. I'm sorry. There you go. I was looking for Suey Metal. They kept bringing me to other pages, and then I almost bought one for $90. I was like, no, wrong one.
Hey, Rygal, someone in the chat said your TV is drowning me out.
Oh, then I may need to hang up then, because that's the TV in the other room, and I can't do anything about that.
Okay.
I don't even know how to turn a push to talk on for this, otherwise I would do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I could just hit
there,
my microphone.
Is that any better, Jason?
Well, I keep muting you, so...
Oh, okay.
I mean, I keep muting myself, so when you're talking, I'll just mute.
Okay, well, we'll do that then. And by the way, I love, I think it's Moa Metal is my favorite one.
Yeah, I don't know, but I've been listening to them a lot.
Yeah. After that, we have... What the hell? Oh, okay. Because I was like, wait a minute. I didn't put up my webcam. You caught me off guard. After this, we had Styles, Anderson, and Gallows had their little promo. Reigns eventually interrupts them and sets up the 6-man with the Usos and Reigns versus Styles, Anderson, and Gallows.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, again, where this was going to go, but I was kind of curious. And they kind of didn't explain how all of a sudden AJ was okay with them interfering the night before.
Yeah, it was strange.
They just jumped like, I told you, it's just JBL, I told you they were together, and it's like, yeah, you did.
Well, and what was funny, I don't know if you noticed it, he's like, the club is back together.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, most casual wrestling fans are going to have no idea what he's saying.
Yeah, I agree fully. Unless they've noticed what shirts people are wearing in the audience, nobody is going to know what club he's talking about.
Yeah, I just thought that was strange. Next, we had Goldust versus Tyler Breeze. I don't even know what the hell the point of this was. This was a quick match, and Breeze wins and breaks his losing streak.
No, it's fucking terrible. And that's all I have to say about that. R-Truth with a selfie stick that was a tree branch.
Ugh. And then Fandango comes down with Goldust. I'm like, why?
Like that one cracked me up. That one really cracked me up. Sorry, I had to find my unmute button.
No, you're good. Jason in the chat says, JBL's Guide to Broadcasting. Annoying comment, stupid comment, annoying comment, legend name drop, annoying comment, and then yell something annoying.
That's about right. I can't disagree with that.
No. And like I told him last night, I'm pretty sure Vince is the one that's feeding him those lines.
Yeah, I bet just about anything. Hold on, leave my mic open for 1 second while you talk, so I'm looking for the push to talk button.
That's cool. Next we had a New Day come out, cut a promo, the Vaudevillains interrupt, do their thing, then the Dudleys and Big Cass interrupt, and it eventually leads to a brawl, which sets up an 8-man with New Day and Big Cass against the Dudleys and the Vaudevillains.
I thought Cass, like, that was the first time he cut a promo where I was like, damn, that was actually really good.
Yeah, well, he looked nervous as hell, but he did a good job.
Yeah, he got that real well. Oh, where is this?
And this 8-man, I didn't think it was too bad.
Oh, there we go. Hold on. This should be good. I think I have it. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I found my push to talk button.
Cool. No, I said this 8-man tag wasn't too bad.
No, it really wasn't, because when you got guys in there like the New Day, the Dudleys, who were good workers, Cass can work a big man role really well, and the Vaudevillains aren't crap. So yeah, that really didn't surprise me.
No. I really like the Vaudevillains because Gotch can really go, man.
Yeah, and the other one's married to Guerrero's daughter.
Yeah, Eddie's daughter. So
how he managed that, I don't know.
Yeah, really. And I thought it was cool to see Xavier Woods getting some more ring time.
Nah, I agree.
Because
I thought it was
for a while,
funny that
he
they were
hadn't
clowning
been
on
hardly
Beyonce
wrestling
too.
at all.
Yeah. Who knows? There may be reason to that.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, that's the one good thing about being in a 3-man. Like, say you do have a little bit of an injury, you may be able to rotate yourself out, kind of stay a little bit healthy.
That's very true. Jason in the chat wrote, "Pale men are very persuasive."
Yes, we are.
Alright, next we had Becky Lynch versus Emma. I really enjoyed this match.
So did I. It was surprisingly long.
It was probably the best match of the night.
Yeah, I mean, she can go. She's good, Emma.
Yeah, and I really like heel Emma.
So do I.
I was actually surprised they put her over clean.
I think they're realizing that they need to start building up some other women, although they ain't doing shit with Sasha.
Yeah, which is so odd. And
they may not want to overexpose her before the summer, which I can kind of understand.
Yeah, because that was the report that came out that Sasha was unhappy with what they were doing.
Oh, Winter, it was that commercial. It's back to the show. So I can hear it through my headphones.
Hey, Anthony. Like Jason said in the chat, Emma almost spiked Becky on her head at the end, and I was like, ooh.
Yeah, that happens sometimes, but that's one thing I don't think a lot of people know is Emma's been wrestling since she's a little girl. So, like, she has this very similar path to Paige.
Really? I didn't realize she's been doing it that long.
Yeah, she grew up in the ring. She, I think Paige said it on the Stone Cold podcast that her and Emma have very similar stories coming up.
Well, I'm glad to finally see her kind of break away from that awful gimmick they gave her with Santino.
I liked her NXT, like, the bubble popping gimmick. I don't know. But I like her heel music, so I can fuck with that.
Yeah, it's cool.
But she came out in Brooklyn, she was so over. Bro, I was surprised.
Was she really?
Yeah, the place, like, you know, erupted compared to what I would expect for Emma on a regular basis.
Wow.
Yeah. And I've always liked Emma, so, I mean, and I tend to like heels, and she works heel well. Like, eye gouge, like, I love heel stuff.
Yeah, it's like, holy crap, she won with a heel move.
Yeah, you just don't have that happen anymore. I think we talked about it last week. There are very few people who actually do heel tactics, and it's the other one I can think of is Sasha Banks with the finger stomp.
Yes. And she's not even really a heel anymore, is she?
No, that's why she hasn't really done it in a while. That or where she'd stand on the girl's hair and pick her up by her arms, so her feet are pulling on her hair. Like, that's a heel move. I mean, like, you can watch that match.
Remember she made Bailey's #1 fan cry at the takeover?
That's a heel.
Yeah.
You know, and it's, you don't find that in the men at all anymore. Part of that is, like, they're not allowed to do a lot of heel things. Like, what happened to choking? Well, you can't choke anymore, but, like, choking with the tag rope. You know, just stuff like that, classic heel stuff. You don't see it, like, you know, beating him up in the corner while the ref gets distracted by the babyface character, you know. You just don't have this shit no more. You watch a match, you don't know who the good guy is and who the bad guy is, other than the faces that they fucking make.
Yeah, really. Alright, moving on, we had the Ambrose Asylum with Stephanie. And basically, long story short, when Ambrose goes to leave after he interviews her, Stephanie said she was bringing back the highlight reel. Jericho comes out and attacks him and eventually hits him with in the back of the head with a plant.
Rest in peace, Mitch the Plant.
Yes. I'm curious to see where they're going to go with this, like if they're going to have a stipulation match at the pay-per-view.
I think they're going to have a funeral, though, for Mitch.
Well, obviously.
If there's a funeral segment next week for Mitch, I want a gold star.
You're calling it now. We have proof because this is being recorded.
I'm trying to nag Rich to come in.
Oh, really? I just want to... Because after Ambrose had already beaten Jericho, it's like, where do you really go? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would just be weird to see him put him over twice unless Jericho's staying past Extreme Rules.
Yeah, and it's so funny because Jericho trolled so many people.
Yeah, yeah, he did. I had one specific person that messaged me on Facebook irate because they had bought tickets to a house show that he was going to be on.
Chris Brown can kiss my ass.
Oh, you knew right away.
Please, I don't even know why anybody talks to that dude. Fucking loser.
Alright, hang on. We got Rich calling in.
Yeah, that popped up on my screen too.
Alright, hang on. Let's see if I can figure this out. I'm trying to find a way to merge the calls, so bear with me.
Did you answer? Because it's still ringing. At least on my end.
Yeah. I just don't know how to merge the call.
Hold on.
Let's try that. Hello? Bear with me, everybody, because the call just dropped.
The call
Hello?
back. Oh, wait,
Mike.
I hear Mike.
Okay, sorry about that.
Are we still live?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was like fiddling around trying to figure out how to put both of you on the same call.
Okay.
But no, we're good.
Yeah.
What's going on, guys?
Nothing much,
Not
man.
much.
We're just
Well-
talking about Raw. What'd you think of it?
Well, to be honest, it kind of had the Authority is back feel to it a little bit to me. Like, it began with Shane and Stephanie and everybody coming out demanding a Intercontinental title match. You guys probably spoke about that already, which is clearly heading towards Fatal 4-Way, apparently.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Yeah, we were saying the same thing. It looks like it's heading towards a 4-way, which, with these four, it's not terrible. I mean,
No.
Miz is the alternative. He's not what I would consider great, but...
But if you
The
put
good
those
thing
three
is-
guys with him, he could pull something off.
Yeah, but the good thing is that it's a pay-per-view where every match is a gimmick match.
Yes, it's probably going to be a ladder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what me and Rygal were just talking about. What are they going to do with Ambrose and Jericho? Like, what stipulation will they have?
Oh, God.
Bitch on a pole match.
Yeah. It was like a fight for a talk show. Now Ambrose Asylum gets canceled. Jericho was saying that he was leaving, or dropping little hints like online that he's leaving WWE soon. So it's like, okay. I'm not sure. They'll probably do I don't know. I can't even think of something off the top of my head.
I know. I'm thinking the same thing. I'm like, what in the hell are they going to be able to do with them? Because Ambrose just had the street fight at WrestleMania.
Yeah, and he had a last man standing match in January.
Yeah.
So what else is there to do? I don't know. Will they incorporate chairs this coming Monday, or I have no idea.
I still think it's going to be a potted plant on a pole match.
Vince Russo would be so proud.
I was about to say, that's
I
some
know.
Vince Russo booking right there.
I don't know. I mean, unless you're going to get Jericho's mother and put her up on a pallet on a forklift.
Oh, God.
What up,
I can see
Commander?
him doing something stupid like a ladder match that's like has a contract on top of it. The top.
Yeah, and the winner keeps his talk show.
Yeah, basically.
Damn,
I
what
don't
would you
know,
do
guys.
for the 4-man match? If you're going to have one ladder match for that, what would you do for the 4-way then?
Ooh.
'Cause you really can't have two
You're running into obstacles everywhere.
Maybe
Yeah.
falls count
So-
anywhere. I don't know.
Well, there you go. That could be the Ambrose and Jericho thing.
Yeah, there you go, yeah.
Because they already gave the submission match to Natty and Charlotte.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping they were, but I knew WWE wouldn't do it. Is they would have them in a cage.
Still,
It's
they might.
possible.
It's possible. It's the new era now, Mike. Don't give up on it yet. You know, if this were last year's WWE, we'd be like, yeah, definitely not going to happen. But now that they're trying to spice things up with PG-rated programming and adult-rated cartoons on the network, we'll see.
I want to see somebody get fucking juice while inside of a cage and they can't roll out to the medical staff.
Exactly.
What, they're gonna fucking come in, like, unlock the cage, like, break the whole gimmick of the match to come give medical help?
Kill what little kayfabe is left.
Yeah. That'd be awesome if all of a sudden they decide, you know what, it's too much money to put a door on this shit, so you're just gonna have to climb out to win, and he gets juiced in the match, and the only one that can fucking do anything is the ref.
Yeah.
And the ref's like, oh fuck, I forgot my gloves.
I didn't realize how big of a disturbance, like, the stoppage it was until I saw it happen to Samoa Joe in the NXT match.
Oh my god, wasn't that the worst? That's what killed that whole match.
Yeah, but he was bleeding like a stuck pig, man.
But prior to that, I had even been at a show where that happened, and I could understand it. Prior to that, I didn't understand how jarring that could really be for a match.
Yeah, it killed the whole flow of the match.
Because the match basically has to restart every single time. Like, you can't get medical help and then go, okay, well, I'm going to go lay back down now, pretend that I'm hurt. Like, no, you just got medical treatment. You're standing up getting medical treatment. You were just selling on the floor. You can't go, time out, okay, action.
Yeah, it's like, hold on, I'm still selling.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, that Balor did a great job in that match where he let Joe, like, put him in a choke real quick or kick him around first before he got the medical attention so that it'll look like, they're both getting time.
Yes. No, I agree fully. And that just is, it's a testament to, like, both men's awareness and ability in the ring to know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because
that shit's all on the fly. That shit wasn't in the script.
Yeah, because I was going to say, I don't think you would see one of these younger guys be able to kind of pull that off on the fly like that.
Oh, fuck no. Like, I was just like Ryan said, thank God that it was those two. Imagine if that would have happened with, like, Ryback and Kalisto on the pre-show. Ryback would be getting his nose checked out, and Kalisto standing on the top turnbuckle doing lucha, or something while, trying to pander to the crowd or something while.
What's your opinion on the whole Ryback thing?
Dude, did you see that long blog that he posted?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's your opinion on that?
He's pissed because he feels that, you know the story, that guys who lose get paid less than guys that win. I always thought, whether it's predetermined or not, the guy who's winning is the guy they're pushing, correct? That
wasn't what he was saying. He was saying that the disparity in what they're getting paid, seeing that it's a role that they're playing, it's a predetermined thing. They're basically actors and they're playing a role. Right. And without the loser, you cannot have a winner.
Right.
So why is there? And the people who are being picked to be this habitual loser is often through no actual fault of their own. No realistic fault. I mean, people catch heat for the dumbest fucking things in wrestling as an excuse to put somebody down.
Right.
I think he had extremely valid points. Now, granted, he may have been overvaluing himself, which is something Mike had mentioned earlier, but he speaks the truth. I mean, a guy like, why is Dolph Ziggler jobbing? You know why? Because he's being asked to. And people who don't know really how great Dolph Ziggler is will call him a jobber. And then in the eyes of the company, well, we can't push this guy. Everybody thinks he's a jobber. So the only reason why he's in that position is because he listened to what you asked him to do in the first place to make somebody else look better. But now he looks like shit, and you're not willing to get behind him, and he's going to lose his livelihood because he did his job.
Right. And
I don't think that's fair.
No, it's true. And he even said it. He doesn't mind ever putting anybody over because out of his 38 pay-per-view matches, he's only won 12. So
when people put up a statistic like that, you really got to look at it and say, you know what, maybe that guy doesn't have that sour. I mean, like, maybe his sour grapes are valid because much of those 12 wins were in his first couple of pay-per-views. So he got a lot of those wins at once.
Right. The only thing I could say about the whole Ryback situation is I think it's time for him to move on with himself and build himself up again somewhere else, like Gallows did, like Prince Albert did when he came back as Lord Tensai, whatever. and show WWE what they're missing out on, like they always do when they let somebody go who wasn't valuable to them at the moment, but will become valuable later on down the road.
That's very possible.
And you realize how over he was for a time? Like, he was, like, there were a couple of times where he was in the ring with Cena, and he was more over than Cena was.
Well, yeah. The night after Mania 30, when he jumped Cena, and he picked up the belt, and he was yelling, "Feed!" Yeah. That whole crowd was yelling, "Feed me more" with him.
Yeah.
And WWE should have done something at that point with him. At least put him into that spotlight for a while, even to give him a strap for 2 months.
Right. Exactly.
Just to legitimize him a little bit.
Right. But when he came back from that injury, when he was heel teaming with Curtis Axel, that he came back, that he was a little bit hot then. Then right before they gave him the run with the IC title, that part about him talking about the secret and all that, I was like, you didn't have to do that. This is Ryback. Like, you don't have to tell, you know.
Yeah,
but that's
I know
really how he is, though. Like, that wasn't a gimmick. Like, that's really how he is in person.
No, I clearly I know that, and we know that these guys are nothing probably like how they are on camera. Clearly, right? But as a fan watching, you're like, this guy's this big power hungry guy. All of a sudden, he's talking about negativity and positivity and how he blah blah. And I'm like, dude, just go out there and fuck people up. That's what we want to see.
Yeah, there's just certain gimmicks that just don't work. Period in wrestling, and that's one of them. You're right.
Yeah. But he took every little shot he could before he left. He had the pre-show stopper on the
on Payback.
On the weightlifting belt. Then he mocked CM Punk.
Oh, he knew he wasn't coming back after that. He knew that was his last night there. That was no accident.
Yeah, no, I know. That's what I'm saying. He took every shot on his way out. He took every shot on his way out first.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Vince stood there. I mean, it's like the last thing a Chicago crowd needed was more prodding. And there, you go and do that. You, of all people, go and do that. And that's why they were chanting CM Punk all night. That just gave them more fuel.
Yeah, he just fired him up.
Huh. And it was great.
Vince watching in fucking horror. I would have loved to see that.
Yeah, I would have loved to see
the realization hit everybody in the back what he had just done and where they were.
Absolutely. Next we had, it was the U.S. title battle royal for the #1 contender. They almost had me here, Rygal. I thought they were going to let Ryder win.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, that looks like where this was going. And I'm like, okay, good. And I'm like, there's no way that they're going to... Like, I would have been happily surprised, but I kept saying, there's no way they're going to let him win. There's no way they're going to let him win. There's no way they're going to let him win. And then he got eliminated. I was like, yep, there's no way that they're going to let him win.
And the crowd was going nuts for him.
Exactly. And I don't know what they're trying to do with Kalisto, where they're trying to make him seem like he's a giant killer or something. Like,
That's
he overcame Ryback. Now, okay, if this was Rusev year and change ago, then we'd be like, yeah, he's going to kill Kalisto. But now we're watching it and we're like, all right, so who's next? Because we'd just be angry with like X-Pac heated if Rusev wins the U.S. title again now.
Yeah, but that kind of seems like the direction that they may be going. Yeah, and then fucking Cena's probably going to come win at the next pay-per-view.
Yeah, well, he comes back the Memorial Day Raw.
Yeah, so that's the 30th. The payback, excuse me. Extreme Rules is the 22nd.
Yeah, the week before.
So Rusev, right? So Rusev, let's say Rusev crushes Kalisto and takes the title, beats him the next night in the rematch. Then the next night he's standing there talking shit, and there you go, boom.
Yep. And feed him to Cena. Basically.
That's basically what I mean. I'm not going to say that's the best booking, but that's definitely what looks like it's going to happen.
Look, I don't care if they make Cena the 645-time United States, the 697-time Intercontinental Champion. Keep him out of the main event picture, and I'm happy.
Yeah.
I respect the man. The guy's a good worker. Fuck what everybody else says. The guy puts on 5-star matches all the time, no matter who he's in the ring with. But just keep him off my main event. Let the young guys flourish. We have enough of them.
Absolutely. All right. Next, we had Charlotte cut her promo. Eventually, Natty comes out, attacks Charlotte, and puts Rick in the sharpshooter again. My God, did this look awkward.
It didn't look as bad as the night before when Bret Hart did it.
No, yeah, he was struggling, man.
Because I wasn't even sure Bret Hart was going to make the turn. I was like, oh, shit, imagine he freaking busts his ass right here in front of everybody.
Yeah, ever since... Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. No, I was going to just say that's his WWE karma coming back at him.
No, I was going to say, ever since Vader fell out of the ring, anytime they get a legend in the ring, I'm like, oh my God, are they going to make an ass out of themselves? Because I'll never forget that with Vader hopping out of the ring and falling.
Yeah, he fell flat on his face. I'll never forget that.
Yep.
Oh my God. After that, we had the main event of the Usos and Reigns versus AJ, Anderson, and Gallows. This was
good
match. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Yeah, it's good back and forth. They protected Roman by not letting him take the pin.
Yep.
And then they did what they should have done a long time ago, which is just have him randomly whoop people's asses. Not randomly, because he has a rivalry right now with AJ Styles, but putting him through the table and all that stuff. He should have been doing that since he started that way back at TLC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when he wigged out.
Yeah.
Well, I work with a guy, he's like about 50. He's like, yo, who watched Monday Night Raw last night? The first time we ever spoke about wrestling. He's like, you see what that nigga Roman Reigns did? And he's just putting over what Roman did. And he's just a casual fan. He don't know about this. He don't know about that. He knows Monday Night Raw. That's it. He don't know what kayfabe means. And he probably asked me, who the fuck is she?
That's the guy that Vince McMahon wants you to phone in then.
Yeah.
That's the guy Vince McMahon is booking for. The guy who tells me, man, you fucking kidding me. You see the size of him? That dude is crazy. He looked like a super soldier. Yeah.
Yep. That little motherfucker ain't got nothing. They ain't gonna do nothing to him. Like that.
Yeah. He don't want to hear about no Kevin Owens. He's like, what, the fat guy? That's what Kevin Owens is, the fat guy. And I can't shit on the guy. The guy's just not a big wrestling, like he's a wrestling fan. Like he watches Monday Night Raw, but he don't follow it. But these are the people's brains that I like picking. Because I want to know how they think. Because then maybe I understand why WWE is doing some of the shit that they're doing. Because this shit don't make no fucking sense to me, bro.
Not at all. And then the ending was so odd because, I mean, I liked it because Reigns was the badass that we're all talking about, where he acted like he snapped and put him through the table. But I was like, damn, he didn't even remove the all the stuff for when AJ took that bump. So I was like, damn, that had to hurt.
But you noticed that right when he picked him up for the powerbomb, he stood him up there for a second. I guess he was explaining to him before we let him go. He's like, dude, I fucked up. I forgot to take the shit off the table.
And then he's like, fuck you.
Yeah. And he probably was like, and since that video came out with Byron getting involved, he can't take the shit off the table for you either.
Yeah, that's true, Lance. He said, my friend's kid is a huge Cena fan. I asked him why his kid likes him. The kid said, because he always wins.
Well, yeah, but to a kid, that just means he's the best. And when you're a kid, you want to be, like that. That's why Hogan was so over. Because how old's the kid?
How old's the kid, Lance? Because my son is 8, and he doesn't watch. He watches casually wrestling with me from time to time, and he loves John Cena. Like, idolizes him, and he's only seen him maybe a dozen times, if that. Okay, he said the kid's 12.
Well, every lesson you give your child growing up is to be good. Here's the shining white knight of good. You know, I mean, and kids gravitate towards it. You know, his smile is infectious. He just exudes positivity. You know, it's I can understand, like, he's loud and colorful with the shirts. I can understand that he says things like poopy. Yeah. You know, I can understand why kids would be into it. What I don't get in any way, shape, or form is any adult male who's wearing John Cena merchandise. I get kids completely.
In the chat says, guys, we know a guy named Mitch who loves Cena. LOL.
Poor Mitch.
I think Cena's a decent worker, but I mean, like, that's where I draw the line. But no, I don't understand it to see, like, a man in, like, a John Cena hat and wristband and fucking t-shirt. It's like, what are you doing?
Or it's funnier, like, when you see a guy who's, like, skinny, 140 pounds, and he's a grown man, and then he's got the headband on his actual head instead of around his bicep like Cena. And
yeah.
I've seen
it. I mean, like we were just talking about kids. My daughter's 9. She like you, Mike. She'll once in a while pop in and go, "Oh, what are you watching?" "Oh, wrestling," and she'll watch for a second. She was watching with me, I want to say a week or 2 ago, when the Dudleys were fighting Enzo and Cass. So she's like, "Who do you want to win?" And I was like, "The little guy right there with the crazy haircut." And then she was like, "But why? He keeps getting beat up. Why don't you want the guy that told us?" So I told her, you'll understand if you watch more one day.
Yeah, kids with wrestling is so funny. You know, some kind of understand it, some have no concept of what's going on. You know, it's so funny. I don't even remember when I learned that it wasn't real. Like, there's no definitive moment that I can remember where I'm like, oh, it's not real.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you something funny. My son, I let him watch. It was the Rumble, the year they had the Rumble match with Lesnar, the 3-way. With Rollins and Cena. Well, ever since then, anytime Brock would come on television when he was watching Raw with me, he'd be like, "Oh no, it's Brock." And I'm like, "Why do you say that?" He's like, "Well, look what he does. He just kills everybody."
Oh.
My wife calls him Bully because she was into wrestling years ago, like during the right up to like the Attitude Era. So let's say from the Golden Era, what they called it when Hogan was there, till like 98 or so. Then she stopped watching. And then she met me, and then she had no choice. Just kidding. But so when she started watching it, she saw Brock Lesnar, because when she first saw Brock Lesnar, she saw him in UFC. So she was like, "He's going to WWE?" I was like, "Yeah, he was there already." She was like, "Really?" I was like, "Yes." So then I started showing her like old stuff. She started calling him Bully when she saw him annihilate Zach Gowen.
Oh.
And she was like, "Why is he doing that to him?" She's like, "What an asshole," in front of his mother too. And I was like, "It's part of the show, babe."
Yeah.
I remember that F5ing his one good leg into the post outside. Yeah, I did, bro. I still remember, bro. He busted him open legit for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we got a question. Sander in the chat wants to know, how do you guys feel when Austin was on top and the kids went to school giving middle fingers and stunners?
As one of the kids telling my teachers to suck it, I don't think it negatively affected my time in school.
As one of the kids that also grew up in that era, all I have to say is I turned out pretty good.
I don't know. It was
same
just
thing.
time. The whole time was different.
I grew up right in the middle of it.
I think what I don't think a lot of people realize is that the 90s were just a different time period everywhere. Like in pop culture, in life, things were different. So saying "suck it" and you know, like, rebelling against authority, I don't want to say what's accepted, but we're modest compared to how we were then. Like, things were just different, and I think the older people here can kind of attest to that. Things are just different now. You gotta be more politically correct. And just think about other TV shows where people were wearing in fashion. Like, there were titties everywhere at the end of the 90s, and less clothing.
Oh, yeah.
J-Lo's dress from the Oscars.
Yeah, that back then you were wearing like Jenko jeans and all that kind of bullshit.
Yeah. And there wasn't, in professional sports and even down to like little leagues and stuff where the losing team would be, oh, let's hear it for them too. Back in the days, it'd be like, yeah, they fucking suck, man. Yeah.
Bro, I never got a medal for coming in second place. Now you got to fucking participation ribbons. What the fuck is that?
Dude, my son plays baseball, and my mom was like, he was talking about it. Oh, so-and-so said you're going to get a trophy. I was like, no, you're not. He's like, we get one for participation. I was like, well, you're not keeping it.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, it's, I don't know.
I just, my whole thing is, if you want to get one, then get better to earn one,
Yeah, because then those kids grow up with the thing of that, you know what? They try out for a job. Rich and Ryan try out for a job. Ryan gets the job, but Rich can also get recognition and maybe get the job too now because that's what he's been privy to think.
Yeah, it's true.
I participated, so why can't I get the job? What happened?
Bro, oh my God, you hit the nail on the head. Because when I used to manage Rite Aid, I was only 18, and I was dealing with some of these people who were about that 16, 17, 18, who were just like that. And they just, nobody ever told them they sucked at anything. They just always got credit for participating in things. And the registers were short. They couldn't understand why they were in trouble. But it's like, because you're not good at something. Like, you're bad. Like, you came in last place. Like, I don't know what else to tell you.
I know.
Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that.
It's all good. I wanted to tell you all this because I had looked it up since the last time we had chatted. The Legends of the Ring is in Monroe, New Jersey, June the 11th. Their main attraction is Sting. He's going to be there, and he's only signing I think 200 autographs. $160 to go meet Sting.
Fuck out of here.
No,
I'm not kidding, and I was telling Lance this earlier. One is with him with makeup that he's charging more for, and then one with him without the makeup he's charging less.
160 gets you 2 tickets to the Raw after SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And I looked it up. That's the only reason why I know that for a fact.
I was shocked because Brett's going to be there, and he was only charging $30 for a picture and an autograph.
Wow.
I was like, either he's really desperate for money or he's just a cool dude.
Basically.
You want to talk about somebody that didn't look like they wanted to be there at Payback, man? He looked miserable.
Yeah, he was when he was coming out after Natalia. He just looked like, oh God, why am I here?
Hey, can we just get this over with?
Yeah,
he's
hurry the fuck up.
He's turned into a curmudgeon-y old man.
Dude, have you either of you guys listened to his podcast?
I listened to about 10 minutes of it. Yeah, 10 minutes of it, and then I'm like, yeah, I can't deal with this.
Yeah, it's so him just basically bitching for an hour.
Yeah, and that fad has worked stuff out already. Don't get me wrong. We talk about what we like and what we don't like, right? But you're going to make the whole show about what you don't like?
Yeah, well, I think it was Lance in the chat told me that he actually even had one with his kids on, and he was still complaining.
Yeah. And they were telling him, Dad, it's not so bad. I think that's the one I listened to a few minutes. He was like, yes, it is. I was like, okay.
It's not
no
that
convincing
serious.
You otherwise. Yeah.
I mean, he's right. A lot of it's bad, but it's just that he just harps on everything. It's almost childish.
Well, I don't know if you guys saw it in the group. He had posted something where it's like, oh, wrestling is getting like repetitive. You have to like switch things around and do things different, which I agree with. But it makes me laugh because it's coming from somebody that used the exact same moveset every single time when he made his comeback.
Exactly.
Like he would never deviate from it.
Bro, he had, as technical as he was, he didn't have a huge moveset either. Like, when people are like, oh, he has 5 moves. 5 moves is a lot in wrestling.
Yeah. And that was Ric Flair's biggest beef with him. That's where it all started. Where Ric Flair was like, how did he draw any money if he did the same shit every single night?
And he's right.
Outside of Canada, where did he draw money?
Oh, Brett never drew fucking anything. Which, it doesn't really make sense because he was so over, but no, Brett never drew nothing.
No. Us growing up here in New York, Madison Square Garden had a show at least every month or every other month.
Yes.
And I went to a lot of them, and I don't ever recall in 93 or 94 saying, oh yeah, I really want to go to see Bret Hart versus Yokozuna at the house show.
Yeah, like you were going to pay top dollar.
Yeah. When it was WrestleMania 10, that was a different story because that's WrestleMania. But beyond that, it wasn't like, oh, I have to go see the Hitman. Like, no, I really don't.
In my life, it was never, I want to go see the Hitman. I mean, I liked Brett. I hope I see the Hitman, but it was never like, I have to. And that's when you're putting an ass in the seat.
I actually went and saw them. This is when they were really fell on their ass. It was probably late 94, early 95. They actually did a house show at my local high school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they were, and
That's
they had,
cool.
like, the only person that didn't come was Brett. Everybody else was there. Like, the main event was, like, Taker and Atom Bomb in a casket match.
Well, you guys got a treat then.
Now, and Lance is saying in the chat, Brett's granddaughter drew him a picture from kindergarten, and he didn't like it. He gave it a 4 out of 10. That sounds like him.
Yes, it does.
Brett's turning into, and this might sound funny and dated, but if you guys followed wrestling for a long time, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. He's turning into Ole Anderson.
He really is.
Absolutely.
Ole Anderson's one of those guys that he gets up in the morning and he smiles just to get it over with.
Brett can't even smile anymore from where he was sick.
Yeah.
Another one on that page is Billy Graham, as far as just complaining about everything.
Well, he's good now, Ryan, because he got that WWE Legends deal back for now.
Oh, okay. I missed.
All right. Now Harry's talking about the recent show up in North Jersey. He says, but people will go to pay to see Mr. Belding from Saved by the Bell. He said that he would pay $20 to see him powerbomb somebody through a table.
Well, that made it. If I were any little indie fighter right now, I'd be begging for Mr. Belding to come and do my show.
Mainstream press, because that was on Fox Sports.
Yep, it was on Fox Sports. It was on Inside Edition, I think. It was on a couple of news outlets.
Yes, well then it was well worth it.
Yeah.
The guy who runs WrestlePro is a really savvy, smart guy. He knows what he's doing.
Isn't that Pat Buck?
Yes. There is no other reason why Pat brings these names. He had fucking Sasha Mitchell from Step by Step come in.
Huh.
Okay.
Just random ass people, because you never know what's going to get some media, and he gets them involved in the ring, hoping that a media outlet comes and picks up on them, because you never know who's watching. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah. Okay. We got another question. They said Brett isn't worse than Jim Cornette.
Yeah, but the thing is that I listen to Jim Cornette's podcast from time to time.
Uh-huh.
Don't get me wrong, he shits all over Lucha Underground. Like, that is the worst thing that's ever happened to the business in his opinion. But in terms of other things, he's kind of lined up.
Yeah, just don't mention Russo.
Oh, don't mention Russo and don't mention Lucha Underground. But like he was talking about WrestleMania on his show, and he said that he thought it was a pretty good show. He didn't agree with this, that, or whatever. Like, he didn't think the Legends should have came out to beat up the League of Nations. You know, stuff like that. But like, he was outright saying like WWE sucks and all that. He's kind of toned it down.
Hey, well, that's a shock for him.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's some people that are just telling him, look, dude, let it go. Everybody lets it go eventually.
Yeah, and plus he's getting older, man. That shit isn't good for your health.
Yeah, like, what are you going to carry all this stress for?
Always wins.
Yeah.
It's really true, man. He always wins out in the end.
No matter what the situation. So Cornette should just give up and just go to the shows where, you know, that they do the type of wrestling that he likes, and watches over 5,000 tapes of wrestling, whatever it is that he's got in that huge collection that he just got, and just say, hey, it's not the same business anymore. That's it.
That's exactly it.
I wonder if that's why he had that huge falling out with Ring of Honor, that he couldn't live past, like, wrestling being in 1989, you know?
I think that had a big part to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, at least he did good by them, and he got them that deal with Sinclair before he left. So.
Yeah, at least he did that. Did you guys see, it was I want to say the Pro Wrestling Illustrated, they had like their top 10 wrestlers, and this was before WrestleMania, I guess it was made, and they had Roman Reigns, even though he wasn't the champion yet, as the number 1 wrestler on the top 10.
Who the fuck wrote that article?
Yeah, I had no idea. I was like, well, they just lost all credibility.
Wow. You know what I find funny, though? That before they made this Shane and Stephanie thing, right? That Shane said, I'm here to listen to the fans, and blah, 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 and that he kept getting invited back to Raw because of the overwhelming support on social media, right?
Yes.
So if the WWE actually listened to social media, wouldn't Roman Reigns be where, like, Damian Sandow is?
Yeah, and Kevin Owens would be world champion, and...
Yeah, and Damian Sandow would probably be not world champion, but in some type of major program right now.
Yeah.
So, I always found that funny. Oh, yeah, we listen to the fans. Bullshit. You just need an excuse of...
And then, I don't know if you saw this, WWE just announced it tonight. Shane McMahon is going to have his own, like, sit-down, bare-all podcast with Mick Foley.
That surprised me. It's kind of odd why they wouldn't go with Austin. But
I said Mick the Foley? Same thing, and then I forgot Austin had his shoulder done.
Oh. So what happened to Jericho? Jericho's there.
Yeah.
I would have been entertained with Shane, more entertained with Shane on Talk is Jericho. Oh, true.
Yeah, or like Lance said, even JBL doing it.
Yeah, Legends with JBL, or what's this guy's name that he's like their biggest fan, that he has like 10 radio shows. Sam Roberts.
Sam Roberts.
Yeah.
Huh.
I just thought that was interesting because I'm like, tell all. I was like, Foley's going to lob him a bunch of softball questions.
Yeah, more or less.
Because they haven't had anything interesting since Austin's done his podcast, and even he's toned it down.
If they would just let the... Because Austin does 2 podcasts. He does one where it's like family friendly, and then he does one called, I think, Unleashed.
Yeah, where it's just cursing galore.
Yeah. If they let him do an Unleashed with like Anybody. Like maybe Sami Zayn, because if you notice that they have to hit a lot of dead air thing now with Sami Zayn in the ring. That'd be hilarious.
Well, I don't know if you remember Big Show when he did his one live on the network. He came back and did another podcast with Stone Cold, and he's like, "Yeah, I got in trouble with you."
Oh, because he kept saying shit and stuff like that. Yeah.
And I'm assuming because he was drinking alcohol.
Hey, it's the network.
I was like, really?
And there's so many hours of people doing what on that network? Oh, the same thing? Oh, okay.
I know, it just seems like a crock, you know?
I don't know.
I agree with you, Sander. Austin should do the same podcast, but I know he had to have surgery on his shoulder, like he tore his rotator cuff or something, so maybe that's why he's not doing it. Because remember he said at WrestleMania he felt bad because he kicked like Rusev right in the mouth.
Right, yes.
And had him all bleeding, and he was like, "Oh, shit, I feel bad." Because he basically said like his shoulder was like hanging by a thread.
Wow.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus.
Yeah, he really laid into him. And the first one, he popped it right in the mouth.
He was like, "Oops, sorry."
And he said, and that blew out the rest of his shoulder, that first punch. And he felt like he had it torn the whole time he was in there. It was injured already, and he said that first punch blew it out.
Wow.
Yeah, I watched it again. Like, you didn't see any sign of it. But, yo, you could actually catch Big E on camera with the beer in his hand during that segment.
Oh, yeah.
Not the picture that came out on the internet, because that was taken by a fan, I think.
Mm-hmm. No, on camera. Mm-hmm.
But there's one for a quick second, you see it in his hand. I was like, "Oh, you're caught, motherfucker." That's it. I had nothing else to say
So
about
I
that.
wanted to ask you, did you guys catch Camp WWE yet?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Very much.
Me too. I
It,
thought it was kind of entertaining.
it was funny as hell.
I thought they were trying to make fun of CM Punk when they.
I was just with the McDickless kid. Yep.
Yes.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
That's the first thing that popped into my head. And,
Yeah, I've heard a couple people say that. So yeah.
And
It's my
whoever
sentiment,
is voicing the Triple H character, it's somebody other than him. They have his the way he speaks down perfect. It's hilarious.
It might be that kid. What was that kid that used to play Owen Hart? Jason Sensation.
Oh,
He does everybody
yeah.
perfectly. So
It's possible, but yeah, I enjoyed that. I'm curious to see where it goes.
And it was just
You know
funny
what?
seeing some of the shit they had Vince say.
And the fact that it's Vince makes it even funnier.
That's what I mean,
Yeah.
because you would never expect him to say that.
I taste delicious.
Yeah. Oh man.
Nah.
And it was
I genuinely liked it.
yeah, it's better, much better than the Edge and Christian show.
oh yeah.
I don't
I
know if
like
you
the Edge
guys
and
watched
Christian
it,
show.
but I got through 5 minutes and I was like, this is horrible.
I
Yeah.
love the Edge and Christian show. I think it's the best thing that's on the network. I am such a mark for that show.
It
I
must have
cracked the
gotten
fuck
better
up.
because I watched the first episode and I couldn't get into it.
Oh,
Yeah,
bro,
just like
there's
me.
There's so much stuff. It's so marky. You didn't see the thing. Will they let him talk about it with AJ?
Yes.
Oh yeah. The clip of it. Yeah.
So, but the whole tongue-in-cheek thing with that was, when they asked, will they let me talk about the last promotion that I work for? When instead of saying no, it said T&A for T and A.
Test and Albert.
Yes, but that's TNA also.
Right.
I saw
But,
and it must have been either from last night or or another show when they had the Will We Talk About It was about CM Punk's UFC debut.
I didn't see it yet.
I saw that clip and they're like, of course we'll talk about it if he ever decides to debut. Or something
There's some
like
real
that. And
insider
I was like,
marky
oh,
stuff
man.
on there that it makes me wonder if Vince actually watches any of this. There's some real stuff in there that's kind of like Tommy Dreamer in one episode. He's like their whipping boy, and he gets beaten up by fried plantains. Like, he got two black eyes. I'm telling you, the show's funny. They do the Chump Stain challenge, and like it's kind of cool because like today they were playing theme songs, and you had to get all the next lyrics correct, and you think you know all of them, and then you have to like remember all the words, and you realize you don't always remember all the words accurately. It's fun. You guys should really give the show another chance.
I've seen bits and pieces, like the one they had Stardust talking about like sexual things and.
I don't know if I remember that. I remember him talking about like with kids in school about that's where the bracket of suckage came from.
Okay.
The bad gimmicks. That's where I got that from that episode.
Yeah, because there's only, like 2 or 3 new ones left.
That could be. I don't know how many there were supposed to be.
Yeah,
but right now, Vince McMahon's supposed to be paused.
They were, like, promoting the final 4 or however many fucking episodes. I don't remember.
I don't know, man. I've enjoyed it thus far.
You know what train wreck of a show I'm looking forward to seeing?
What's that?
Total Bellas.
Oh,
no,
God.
Not me.
No, you know why? I don't watch Total Divas. Never watched Total Divas. I wasn't even going to bother with that. But when I saw a clip online that there's going to be a portion of the show where they all move into Cena's house for a week, and when I mean everybody, I mean Johnny Ace, yes. Mama Bella, Daniel Bryan, Bree, Nikki, and John will be living in one house, in his house, for a whole week.
It would just be worth it to watch People Power.
Yeah, I just need John Laurinaitis all going around on that little scooter, talking about, can you guys keep it down? I'm trying to plow Mama Bella.
Yeah. Oh my God, that would be worth it right there.
Yeah, like one of the Bellas. Oh, John, stop being such a douche. Shut your fucking face, bitch. I just want to see that whole train wreck of a show happen right there.
Man, I was just like, wow, they're really fucking doing this.
Yeah. Hey, it's a very unique story. I mean, hey, you remember when Helen Hart said years ago in that Bret Hart documentary that she didn't want her sons being wrestlers or her daughters marrying wrestlers?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. And we're kind of getting like the 2.0 of that right now in the Bella family.
And like every single one of them did. Yeah.
The only thing we need is for the brother to leave his current wife for like Rosa Mendez or something.
Oh, God. Yeah, you're right. But the funny thing is, it's like Cena's just, he's never going to get married to her. He's just like fucking dangling her along.
Oh, yeah.
After he got burned by his last wife, he learned his lesson.
Yeah, even to move into his house, I remember my wife told me, she made her get a paper, notarize a contract or something 3 times before she could even move into his house. I was like, oh, fucking smart guy. If you knew all the fucking money he lost in his last divorce.
Oh my God, he got killed.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
Cena? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he cheated on his wife.
Oh, yeah. Really?
That's a good way to lose your fucking money.
Who was it that? It was Mickey James that he cheated on his wife with.
Mickey James, I remember now.
And Kenny Dykstra was the one who like told the whole world about it because he got fired because he found out.
Yeah, and then after they stopped messing around, there was no more Mickey James.
Yep, because she was like still like in love with him, and Cena was like, "No, you were like my
Side
on the road
piece.
ring rat." Yeah,
Side piece.
That's crazy because she's married to that dude from TNA now.
Yeah,
Magnus.
Magnus.
Yes, thank you. I couldn't think of his name.
Or Nick Aldris, whatever he's called now.
Or in a fucking Arby's twat.
And the other thing that's weird, I don't know if you guys follow like basketball or anything. Charlotte is dating the dude from the Cavs, Kevin Love.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I
What does
actually
Charlotte have?
thought I had to rewatch the fucking Hall of Fame because the dude next to Charlotte, I swore to God, was Kevin Love, but I had to rewatch it and it was her brother with long hair and a beard.
Oh yeah, it was David Flair. Yeah, David Flair. Wow, I didn't know that.
Rick's probably pimping her out.
Basically, he says he's a huge Cavs fan, so there you go.
Well, that's why then.
Yep.
So anyway, fellas, where do you think we're gonna go for Extreme Rules here? My sentiments exactly.
Okay. The tag team title, I'm going to start with the easiest, but most confusing still. The tag team titles, I don't know, because now they're like, the Vaudevillains are or are not the number one contenders?
They announced it last night.
Oh, okay. So, because I heard, through the whole thing with Cass and the Dudleys coming out, okay. So I guess right there, I'm going to just go with that New Day keeps the titles. Because now they've added a bit of sentiment to the story since Enzo got hurt legitimately.
Yeah.
So they added a little more sentiment. That way their match will mean just that more when it happens. And for the matches announced, Charlotte wins. Ambrose wins. And I'm not sure what happens with Reigns and AJ in terms of the storyline, but I'm just going to go with that Reigns is going to keep the title. Because every week,
me and Ryan were talking before you got on. I said they had so many opportunities at Payback to try something different, where maybe Reigns, joins Anderson and Gallows, and maybe Balor's with them, and they're all heels, or maybe Styles forms the Balor or Bullet Club or whatever the hell you were gonna call it, But it almost felt like they just went the safe, easy way to them.
Right. And then the problem now with Balor, because I know that every Monday everybody's like, okay, this is the day Balor's coming out.
Well, and he likes to troll everybody, so...
Oh, of course. He didn't troll anybody this week, but there was people in the, in our group that thought that.
Yeah.
So, the problem to me with Balor coming up now is this. The NXT title is prestigious, right?
Yes.
But... when Kevin Owens was on the main roster and fighting for the NXT title, he wasn't in the main event storyline. Sasha Banks, the same thing. So to me, it doesn't make any real sense that you have this guy chasing, or is he part of a heel stable that's going after the world champion on Raw, or on the main roster, better said, and then he's going to go do a job to the NXT champion. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. Because Owens did the same thing. Remember when he had the feud with Cena? He lost. Well, actually, he lost to both. He lost to Cena, and then he jobbed to Balor in Brooklyn.
And he did the job to Balor before that in Tokyo.
Yes.
But the thing was, thank God that Cena was the U.S. champion, the mid-card champion, not the world champion, because that Kevin Owens right now would be working superstars if that was the case.
Well, because if you think about it, he lost like back-to-back to Cena clean. He got pinned and he tapped out, and he's still been able to overcome that.
Right. When he tapped out the last time, though, he wasn't the NXT champion because he had just lost it to Finn Balor.
Yeah.
But like I said, it'll be bad for Balor's character if he comes up now, as opposed to just getting his taking care of all his business in NXT first, and just saying goodbye.
Absolutely.
Considering where they're going to place him on the cards. So.
And then things are going to get real interesting because next month is Money in the Bank.
There you go.
So I have no idea where they're going to go with that.
Me neither.
What do you think,
At
Ryan?
this rate,
Oh, I have no idea where they're going with this shit. For all I know, Heath Slater is going to be in the main event.
hey, I don't know if you guys mentioned this, but Tyler Breeze broke his fucking winless streak last night.
This is true.
So he's 1 in 150 in 2016. So.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, Harry wants to know, we will most likely see Baron Corbin versus Ziggler at Extreme Rules. How do you see this matchup after Ziggler caught the rookie mistake roll-up at the pay-per-view?
Just another normal match. That's just the way they're not gonna put too much emphasis on it being like a gimmick match.
Nah, I think I originally thought they were gonna let Corbin win, but I guess they wanted to throw Ziggler a bone, and then Corbin will eventually win the feud.
Right.
By the way,
and then
Adam Rose has posted his doctor's note saying that he's been prescribed Adderall for ADHD, and he's been following the medication as prescribed.
Oh, God.
Wow.
No, I mean, I side with him. I mean, if he's had a note and he claims WWE's known about this for well over a year.
I just mean, oh God, because they kind of just drug him through the mud.
Yeah, I mean,
because they had an amazing chance after that E60 to make him, give him a big push after you saw like what he had to deal with on a daily basis, and they really just dropped the ball.
Big time.
Yeah, because he could have been a very, huge sympathetic character after that.
And how fucked up is it that all the Rosebuds are people that are better known right now on May the 3rd to the fans than he is.
Yeah, that's sad. You just reminded me of something, and I know Ryan will go nuts on this. Have you, Rich, seen No Way Jose yet?
Oh God, yes, I saw him last week's NXT?
Yeah,
I was like, what the?
Like that?
Yeah, with the all white on, and I'm like, oh my God, they're gonna do the stereotypical Spanish guy, a Dominican guy. He's Dominican. He likes to dance, and he dresses up like a santero. I was like, great.
Way to generalize, WWE.
Yeah.
When I first saw him, I was like, he looks like he's a mix between Adam Rose and Fandango.
With a little bit of Armando Alejandro Estrada.
Yes. Well, it was just so odd because, and I know Ryan hated it because we had talked about this. His match, I was like, really? You're gonna an airplane spin?
Yes, I was looking at that and I'm like, this is why I read NXT spoilers. I stopped reading them and then I'm like, you know what? After this, I'm gonna start reading them again. I can't.
And I was just like, please tell me they're not going to keep the move they had as his finisher be a finisher.
Nah, don't worry. Triple H wasn't around. That's what it was. Since that was all filmed during Access Weekend, Triple H was busy. But now Triple H is going to come back and he's going to go, okay, who the fuck decided all this crap?
Yeah, really. It was terrible. That's true, too. That the Epico and Primo, they keep showing vignettes for them, and they're generalizing them as well.
The only thing they need to do is just have them with the hookah in an upcoming one, and the bottle of Henny or something.
Yeah. Well, it almost makes me feel like they're going to try and pay Carlito to come back and be like, yeah, be a faction with them.
Yeah, you can fight New Day. So
I am like you, Rich. I stopped watching, or not watching, reading NXT spoilers for a while because I didn't want to like ruin the show. But then when there's shit like that, you're like, yeah, I need to see what's coming on.
Exactly. So that's why. Yeah. So after watching.
Hey Ryan, what do you think of this dude, the Drifter they have in NXT?
I'm not a fan. Elias Sampson?
Yeah.
Not a fan. I don't know. Just not really a fan.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
He kind of looks like, if you look at his face a little bit, he's got a little Sandow look to him.
Yes.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, so, and that's all I got for him, actually. Because beyond that, I have the only thing that I enjoyed of his work was getting fed to Nakamura last Wednesday.
In under 5 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah, he just doesn't do it for me. There's nothing interesting about him. I don't care about the Drifter. Like, get the fuck out of here.
And it's almost like the TNA scraps are coming over to NXT now.
Yeah. The funny thing about the Drifter was he got less ring time and less offense than Ty Dillinger did against Nakamura.
And I actually like Ty Dillinger.
Yeah, I like Ty Dillinger too. It's just that he has more of a jokey gimmick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what made the whole match was when Nakamura was doing the hard blinks when he was doing the 10 in his face.
Yeah, and then he looked at the ref like, "What the fuck is he doing?"
So, yeah, Eric Young is spoiler, but yeah, Eric Young's made his way over.
I was gonna say it's not really a spoiler because WWE put it on their YouTube and their Twitter.
Oh yeah, coming on NXT, May the 27th, you'll see it. Because they had him, and then Bobby Roode's supposed to be coming in at some point. Yeah. Poor TNA. Why can't Dixie Carter just give up and just sell them to Ring of Honor?
Well, we talked about this, I think, last week, that the Harris brothers were rumored to be buying TNA.
Thing is, she doesn't want to give up more than 50. She doesn't want to give up the 51%.
But after you guys spoke about that last week, this was on Thursday or Friday. Mm-hmm. They said that Sinclair, the guys who own Ring of Honor, are thinking about buying TNA.
Oh wow!
So then I remember somebody saying, "Wouldn't that be weird? The number 3 company buying the number 2?" And I'm like, "No, you got it wrong. ROH is the number 2. It's been the number 2 for a long time."
Absolutely.
Yeah. And not because they're doing great, because fucking TNA fell so far.
And they have a lot more TV.
The only thing that sucks is I can't get Ring of Honor here.
Yeah. But they give all the shows, the weekly show that they used to give on Destination America. Mm-hmm. That is on Comet now or whatever. Yes. You could just watch it on ROHWrestling.com now.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, you could just watch it right there. They're like, fuck it, we give up. Here.
Yeah, because I was going to say the station Comet they're on isn't on my cable lineup.
No, you can watch it directly on their website. Whenever I guess it's like the WWE network where, once they air it the first time, you can just watch it whenever you feel like it.
Yeah, well, that's cool.
So,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's the place they need to go to start rating talent.
Well, they've always done that. Most of WWE's guys are from Ring of Honor.
Yeah, I'm talking about presently. Give me some Briscoes. Give me some Jay Lethal. Why not?
They're probably eventually going to head that way. And then they're going to have the Cruiserweight series where you figure a lot of those guys will get signed.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Then they're going to have so many, they're going to have too many talents.
Yeah. I mean, they just signed, I think, more than 10. I'm not going to give a number I know exactly, but they just signed more than 10 more kids to the Performance Center, to NXT.
Jesus.
Along with the other ones that they signed when they were doing Breaking Ground and all that.
Yeah.
So,
because I had read a rumor that if the Global Cruiserweight or whatever series, whatever it's called, if it does well, Stephanie wants to do one with nothing but women.
I think that could work really well.
I do too.
yes.
Now, are any of these qualifying matches able to be watched online?
I saw like a snippet on WWE's YouTube of a couple of the matches, but I don't know if you can watch the full match.
No, I think it's just snippets that WWE's offering, unless like somebody who was actually there to see it post it themselves.
Can you think off the top of your head any of the matches that have happened?
I know one for sure. Yeah, he's the one that Mike's about to say.
I don't remember who he fought, but Zack Sabre Jr. wrestled.
And won. I know that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the other one. It's escaping me.
Because I'll remember the name when I see it.
And they wrestled, it was in, like, England.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because they were in, like, this really small, like, arena. And I was like, wow. And it was like, these dudes were really laying it in. And I was like, man, I can't see WWE letting them do this.
Yeah. That's why they'll send them to NXT first and go, okay, this is how we slow it down.
Yeah, well, we were just talking, Rich, before you came on, one of the people in the chat said that Michinoku driver that Emma gave Becky Lynch, I was like, ooh.
Yep. Right when that happened, I was like, holy shit. Did Becky just dodge a bullet? And something I mentioned here, and I mentioned it yesterday, I think, to Ryan, and something separate. When the Enzo and Cass match, right before the accident happened, you remember when Cass grabbed them and like threw him on top of, I think it was Simon Gotch?
Yes.
Like as a crossbody? I saw Enzo's face smack right off of the canvas, and I was like, holy shit. This guy's going to get a concussion. When I just saw his face hit right there, then he, like, for a second, if you watch it for a second, you know what I'm talking about. I was like, holy shit, this guy could get a concussion if some shit happens like that. And unfortunately, a second later, I was right.
You know what? I heard somebody else say that, and I wasn't by my computer at the time to go check that, and I'm going to actually go check that right now.
I'm going to have to look at it again.
Just look at the crossbody, right, and you'll see Enzo's face just smack on the canvas.
Well,
Yeah,
I
that shit was scary,
thought when he fell, it was a work. And then when they showed the replay, I was like, no, he knocked himself out.
When I saw a Big Cass come running over the way he did, that's when I knew it was real. Because he came around the steps and everything, like, you know, that doesn't usually happen.
Yeah, I saw the WWE.com video of them taking him in the ambulance, and like Big Cass was a wreck. He was like bawling his eyes out.
Because they're legit friends.
Yeah. Fucking they sitting there eating pizza and popcorn.
But I gotta say, Big Cass showed himself well last night by himself. You and I had talked about this, Ryan. I thought he did well.
Yeah, he did really good. The only thing is, did you notice that now when he says, I got one word to describe you, he says it much more slower?
Well, in like less emotion.
Right, and lower, and with a much lower tone.
Yeah, because remember he used to do it with like the little twitchy voice.
Yeah.
Maybe
I saw that.
To do that.
You're talking about the splash when Cass threw him, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and I also think right after that when he runs into Aiden English's boot, I think he gets legit kicked in the face.
Ooh.
Well, my wife said it the best. She said, you know what? This night started off wrong for Enzo. And I was like, how? She was like, he ran out and he dropped the mic first. So, during his entrance.
That's a valid point.
Yeah.
And I think the whole pay-per-view just kind of suffered where it was like the air was taken out of it, you know?
Right. Because now people are more concerned about what if this guy is, you know, legitimately going to be paralyzed or something, God forbid. But luckily that wasn't the case.
Absolutely. Thankfully he's going to be okay, and he'll probably be gone a couple weeks.
Yeah.
I figured when we had talked about this last week that that's what they were going to do anyway, that the Vaudevillains would fight New Day.
But hey, as it stands right now, Enzo and Cass are still undefeated in the main roster. So I'll take it.
Yeah, so it kind of worked out when you think about it anyway.
Exactly.
So they didn't have to, you know, have them technically lose.
There you go. They didn't have to do a job. So right now, as it stands, when Enzo is ready to come back, then they could just start off from right there, and they could just keep them hopefully unbeaten until they get the big.
Like, my whole thing is, if he's not ready, you can at least have him come out there and cut promos.
Like I said last week, if it didn't work out for him as a wrestler, he's the mouthpiece for a manager.
Harry, the League of Nations is already split up. He's asking how much longer do we see the League of Nations as a team?
No, League of Your Nations is done, and they split up in the most stupidest way I've ever seen. It looked like little boys breaking up.
Yeah, like
throwing each other into a door. Yeah, throwing each other into a door.
Well, and that's another thing where injuries kill it, because I think the Wyatts were going to be the ones to split them up at Payback.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought that's where they were going to go, so that's another injury killing them. And then, I don't know, I'll mention this and then we'll get out of here. If you guys read about Seth, that they said he's probably going to be ready to go after he finishes filming that WWE movie he's filming right now.
Oh, nice. The good thing about WWE movies is that it doesn't take them months. It takes them like 2 or 3 weeks and they're done.
Yeah.
And they're already over a month into filming, so.
Well, there you go. So it's any day now.
Yeah. Because they started filming like right after WrestleMania.
But you know what? I give WWE credit. They will not give up on that fucking movie franchise, no matter how shit those movies are.
I think they do very well overseas.
They have to.
Yeah. I mean,
they don't necessarily cost a lot to make.
Yeah, they're bringing in Wesley Snipes and stuff for this movie, correct?
Yeah.
So they got. I mean, the last time they had a big name person, unless I'm wrong, you guys could correct me, which was Halle Berry.
Yeah.
That movie wasn't that bad, and it did pretty good in the box office.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. And then the other guy I remember they had in one of them was the guy that played the Terminator villain in Terminator 2.
Oh, yeah. He was in the Marine with John Cena.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I always remember his face, but I could never remember his name.
Me neither. I just always call him T-2000 every time I see him.
Yeah.
Robert Stackman, is that it?
Sounds
Might
about
be.
right.
The guy who was on X-Files for a while.
Yeah.
The only WWE movies I've enjoyed is See No Evil and The Condemned.
I like The Condemned, but that was like what the kind of movie it was. It was a PG version of Battle Royale from Japan, which is one of my favorite movies ever. Do you know about Battle Royale?
Yeah.
Okay, it's fucking great. I love that movie.
Yeah, they toned it down.
Yeah, and they use convicted killers instead of random high schoolers.
Yeah, but for some reason, dude, when I worked at Walmart, those WWE movies sold like fucking hotcakes. I don't know why, but they just did. We couldn't keep them.
Wow.
And I wish
Chris
I
Brown,
knew why.
go fuck yourself. Sorry, I had to tell my buddy Chris Brown to go fuck himself.
A day in the life of Raw Gal.
Absolutely, bro.
Alright, everybody. We're going to jump out of here for tonight. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And we will see you guys next time. Have a good night, everybody.